so you guys want to see what Caleb's doing. So these aren't gates, but they're for the entry of a driveway of a client. It was probably about a year ago, they did a remodel, and they're still kind of at the tail end of it, but they had some recessed areas inside their kitchen right above the island. And it wasn't awkward. It looked nice, but it needed something to fill it. And so I was wrapping a beam and some other things in their house, and they asked me what I would do. And so we actually CNC'd some panels with a herringbone pattern in them. And then we mounted them in the ceiling, and then a light dropped through one of them. So it kind of made a somewhat awkward looking spot look like it was really meant to be. And so it turned out really cool. Same client wants these in the front. So I did a herringbone. If you come around this way, you can see we did a herringbone pattern here. And then he has a pool out back, and then we did we're doing all the rails for that right after these, and those will have a herringbone pattern as well. So we were kind of able to carry that thing throughout the whole house. It wasn't really the intention in the beginning of the build, but it just kind of ended up going that way. And that's kind of part I like to do. I love it when people have something and they don't know what to do with it, and then I'm able to just try to make it look awesome for them. And if it turns out, it's one of the greatest feelings.
Just got these done, so I'm setting them up next to each other. See, everything's symmetrical, everything like that. Can't find my 1/4" shim though. But kind of stand them up and look at them, see if everything looks right, everything lines up with each other. These are supposed to be the same except for the number plate in one. So they all lay out right and everything, and just kind of give them a good once over. Really clean that up, but I think they look pretty good.
Was there any like specific type of weld or anything you had to do on these?
Not really. The ones in here got kind of difficult, just because it's so tight in there, but I think once they get clean, these will get sandblasted since they go outside. So I think the sandblasting knocks a bunch of that stuff out. Like these little BBs, knocks most of those off. But
What was your favorite part of this job?
probably the number plate. It's what I did, was I made this one just like this one and put all the spindles full length in it and just laid this on here and marked out around it, cut out the spindles, and then just laid that in there and welded it in. But yeah, they're pretty awkward to work with too. Like they don't stand up on their own, which is why one just fell on me over here. But other than that, it was pretty easy. These posts will get screwed down into concrete over there, and we laid out the piers for the concrete guy. I don't know if he got off on his measurements or what, but one side was shortened than the other one, so there was supposed to be like a 3-inch gap right here. So I had to come back in and recut this, and so now it's a 1-inch gap because the piers were shortened, so we had to come back in and shorten ours, which I'm glad we went and checked that before we built them to the drawing, because that would have sucked. But I'm good now. But on to the next thing.
Okay, what do you weld next?
It's for the same house actually. These are the rails. They'll be like the same design. They'll be like the herringbone pattern design, but just normal rails and spindles that will go around his pool in his backyard. So, but I think that's next.
This is all tiger wood, and this is for that bridge that Justin painted last week. And Arrow Building is the builder that we're working with for this, Jake Bruton. He does a lot of high-end builds, green builds. He likes everything nice and neat, and so do I. So we work good together. And he got this tiger wood dropped off for us. And so what we're doing now is pre-drilling everything so that we can countersink all the screws. And then we got a wood plug to put in to cover up where all the screws went. And so to keep things consistent, I like to use jigs. And so we got 65 of these to do. And so we cut this out on the CNC. This is the same size as the board. Justin set it up so that he can butt it up over there and he can just mark out each one. And then these wood plugs take a specific bit. And this bit right here, so it stops it. You get the perfect countersink for the wood plug. Allows us to hide our screws and make this thing look super clean. So cool things about the guys I got in my shop is that, I just asked Justin to drill these out for me. I gave him the jig, but he created a system so that they're all perfect. I didn't have to show him how to do that. He figured it out on his own. And, as I'm growing and having people work for me and going through people, I realize the value of good people that can think for themselves. And Justin has been one of those guys for sure. He's a painter, but he had no more dancing. He's not a dancer. And Caleb's the same way too. Caleb's only 23, but he's got great experience, and he asks the right questions. He just stays focused. I mean, both these guys stay on task all day. If anything, I probably distract them more than anything else. So, anyways, it's super important to have the right guys in the shop, and I've learned that more and more. And with some of the things I got going on in the future, I got more people to bring in, and I got another group of guys that will be coming in on something I have going on, and I'm excited to show that too. So